This video is brought to you by Raw Fury, a Swedish indie game publisher which puts out some amazing titles that you've likely seen or played before. Rawcember is going on, which means there's games, giveaways, and announcements going on all throughout the month. Click the link in the description to support the channel and check out some awesome games. I'll touch on Raw Fury again later on in the video. OMORI doesn't have a Steam Workshop page, but that has not stopped tons of people from making not just mods, but completely separate fan games of it, and one of which that I happened across, per a comment on one of my recent videos, was Day 224, a very brief 5-minute look into the day-to-day terror that is Hiro's grief after the tragic events that unfold in the original game. It's playable on itch.io, and upon starting you see everything you'll contend with in the game. Hiro might have a reputation for being the most mature member of your party, but here, there's no one else for him to focus on. Kel and his parents are on vacation, and everything from the lighting situation to the wooden floors demand attention. Trash is scattered across the floor, and none of the lights are on. He wakes up dazed and grief-ridden, still not completely settled into his new normal after Mari's passing. You can walk around, eating various items in a very crass way that's unlike Hiro as we know him. There are no puzzles, only interactables. There's even some dialogue where Hiro comments on how he is saddened at how quickly everyone moved on after the tragedy. Dreary situations in video games can be powerful, but Day 224 hits harder than a lot of them on account of how easily the player can cement themselves in Hiro's shoes. Not necessarily because we all have someone we love that is gone now, although I'm sure a ton of us do, but also because just having a gray day like this devoid of warmth and sun, feeling like you're stuck in this miserable, grief-ridden cycle where even cleaning your house is too much to ask for, is all too real. The game is all about working your way up to speaking to a photo of Mari you have, but doing so requires a couple of things, none of which are demanding. Simply drink some water and turn on the lamp towards the right side of the room. Day 224 likely won't change the OMORI community forever, or have a lasting historical footprint on the OMORI modding community in general, but I really enjoyed just being a fly on the wall that watches Hiro go about a single day, wondering what he's gonna do next, getting a small glimpse into how he grieves over everything that happened, and the strongest part of this mod is something that you will see in really good prequels or sequels usually. One of the best things a sequel or prequel can do is recontextualize past events to make them more special. Not only being a good story in its own right, but having past or future events become more meaningful. And in this case, Day 224 does that by showing us Hiro's frustration with Mari. Obviously none of this is official canon, which I know will be a deal breaker for some, but save for a couple of tweaks, I really think it could be on par with vanilla OMORI. But to elaborate, one of the most interesting wrinkles this fan project gives us into the dynamic of these characters is Hiro's anger at Mari while he's talking to this picture. At this point in the story, he's blind to how she actually left everyone. He gets frustrated at this photo, yelling at her for willfully throwing so much away when she brought so much joy to those surrounding her. It's hard to watch for sure, but seeing it makes us almost anticipate the original game's ending. Our want for Hiro to understand what happened goes up drastically after watching this scene. Even if it gives Sonny a very uncertain future with his friends, the relief it will provide not just Hiro, but Basil, Aubrey, and Kel is highly appealing in this context. Hiro processes his grief for Mari through speaking to this photo, but I really don't like what the creator of this project did with some of the dialogue in this scene. That's not the only problem Day 224 has though, and I want to tell you what they are, but first I need to communicate to you that OMORI, and by extension its fan projects, have a ton of atmosphere and a lot of them are a pleasure to play through, but if we're being completely honest, it can be very emotionally draining, considering one of the core things about OMORI is how heart-wrenching it can be. If you need a great palate cleanser between your OMORI play sessions but still want a ton of atmosphere, I can highly recommend Dome Keeper, an amazing indie I've been playing that was published by this video's sponsor, Raw Fury. The melancholic soundtrack and night-weaved worlds invoke a deep sense of awe and terror. Awe because of its beautiful pixel art and desolate planetscapes, and terror because of the faded beauty of this world on top of the colossal monsters you'll fight on the surface. By day you'll gather resources out of the ground by carving out patterns underneath your base to collect as much ore and treasure as possible to upgrade your equipment. You'll have to make sure you make it to the top of the base by nightfall though, because those monsters will only wait around for so long before they decide to come for the dome. What I love most about this game though is all of the different upgrade paths you can take while playing. You can increase anything from your carry capacity to how strong the laser itself is outside of your base. It really leaves a lot of room for replayability and experimentation instead of just everyone going through the game the same way. Click the link in the description to to see Raw Fury's publisher page on Steam and get a look at some amazing titles and to support the channel. Okay, back to the video. I absolutely loved this scaled back, smaller slice of life kind of thing when it came to making an OMORI project like this, but as per usual, I'd be remiss to pretend everything I saw was perfect. For one, there's this Mari dialogue at the end where she talks to Hiro and apologizes for what she did to Sunny, which is sweet and all, but takes away from the gut punch that is her absence in the main game. Moments where Mari could project to other characters like this were also only confined to headspace before, so we see the supernatural spilling into the real world here, and it was one of the few things I saw that reminded me this was a fan project. There's also this bit about how Hiro says he has a trash bin that's just for crying. Like, I don't know, this seems more like something I'd hear in a Discord venting channel than an actual video game. Considering this was done really quickly as part of a game jam where the concept was your game has to take place within one room, I'd love to see this concept revisited, maybe some light puzzle solving that lets Hiro progress through the room as time goes on, with him mustering the courage to eventually speak to Mari's portrait before it's over. I was glad I found out about this little project, and hopefully I'm able to bring some more attention to it. I also hope that I was able to bring some attention to not just Domekeeper, but Raw Fury in general. They are the first channel sponsor, and I'd love if you could support both them and this channel by clicking the link in the description. Again, Rawcember is kicking off, and it's as good a time as any to expand your Steam library with some amazing roguelikes, adventure games, RPGs, you name it, I promise Raw Fury's got it. Thanks so much to Raw Fury for sponsoring the channel, and of course, to you for watching. And have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.